so let's talk about cool season fall lawn care.
Yep.
Where you want to start?
Well, I just want to start with, right now our tall fescues are probably looking pretty rough. Just from the heat, that they're not looking good, probably some brown in them, probably some areas that have died and kind of slushed off. But good news is fall is a great time for fescues to recover.
Good deal. It's a great time, huh?
Great time, great time.
All right.
In fact, cool season grasses thrive in temperatures between 60 and 75 degrees.
Okay.
Let's start off with some management practices.
Let's do it.
Mowing heights, again, we want to continue using that 1/3 rule. We don't want to take off more than 1/3 of the leaf blade every time we cut. Fescue blends, they really like to be mowed during the fall about 2.5 to 4 inches. Irrigation, still important to continue irrigating our fescues. Again, that 1/2 inch to 1 inch per week is real good for the fescues going into it. Fertilizing, fall is a really important time to fertilize for fescues. Again, they're going to start actively growing around this time, that's 60 to 75 degrees. They're not going to grow a ton like they would in the springtime, but they're going to start growing again. So it's really important to get that fertilizer down for them. You need to wait until the air temperature is between 60 and 75 degrees before you make your first application of fertilizer. And then over the fall season, you need to apply about 2 pounds of nitrogen per every 1,000 square foot throughout the fall.
Okay, and it's always good to get your soil tested, right?
Yeah, I always do that based on a soil test, for sure. Fall is also the time where you want to aerate your fescue lawns. And we're doing that for 2 reasons. One, you want to relieve compaction, all right, because soil does get compacted, so you relieve compaction, and that opens up the canopy as well when you take those cores out.
Okay.
And that helps us when we're seeding. Like I said, during the summertime, the fescue will kind of die off, kind of leave some opening areas, and we'll need to fill those back in. Because fescue is a bunch grass. It doesn't spread out by rhizomes or stolon, so they don't really spread out. So we have to fill those areas back in. And we do that with what we call interseeding. And interseeding is when we put the seed back in the same type of grass. So fescue seed into fescue lawn.
Gotcha.
So we want to start doing that in the fall, kind of depending on where you're at, kind of depends on when you want to start doing that. For our area, like for Tennessee, East Tennessee, we'll start in kind of that August, mid-September. Then we kind of move over to Central region. It's more of the September time frame. But for us here in West Tennessee, it's kind of late September to mid-October. So it just kind of depends on the temperature, so about 70 degrees. And you kind of want to start with a 3 to 4 pounds of seed per 1,000 square foot. It's a pretty good ratio. Now, that's for interseeding, but if you want to start a new lawn, new establishment of fescue, it's a little bit different. Again, you want, like I said before, the interseeding is 3 to 4 pounds. You want to use 5 to 8 pounds of seed per 1,000 square foot for a new establishment. You want to select a blend. Most people think of fescue as a tall fescue, but we really recommend doing a blend of tall fescue and fine fescue. Tall fescue is really good, has a little bit more heat tolerance, a little bit tougher, but some of the fine fescues are a little bit more shade tolerant, like a Kentucky bluegrass. Or a chewing fescue. They can tolerate a little bit more shade. So if you have an area where you got some shade, you kind of want to blend that together and let that you get best of both worlds.
So how much shade are we talking about?
Filtered.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in heavy shade, even the fescue is going to struggle to grow well. That's just issues that we have with all turf grass in shade. So there's a couple of different places that you can go to get seed. Again, we recommend good quality seed. So you kind of want to look at your garden centers. You want to look at supply companies, landscape supply companies. They'll generally have a good quality seed, or they can get access to it. And again, a lot of people go online looking for seed, and you kind of want to get that blend that will work, for what you need for in your yard. If you got a little shade, get something that's a little bit more shade to mix in with your tall fescue. There's a couple of different programs out there that you can use to kind of figure out what kind of seeds you want. And they evaluate turfgrass fescue seed for performance under reduced inputs and environmental stresses. Right. So they put these seeds to the test, and they only, recommend the good quality seeds.
That's
so
good. Okay.
The Turfgrass Water Conservation Alliance is one, and the Alliance for Low Input Sustainability Turf A-List is another resource that they can use.
Yeah, we'll make sure to get that on the website.
Great.
Good.
And then again, after you've kind of seeded, you want to kind of put down a little mulch, straw. That helps keep the seed in place, keep it a little moist, and keep, birds and other, things that feed on on seeds from getting them in. But you kind of want 80 to 100 pounds of clean straw per 1,000 square foot.
And you definitely want to make sure it's clean.
Yeah.
Right, because some of that can be weedy. So
could be weedy, and you definitely don't want that in there. Yeah. So good clean straw, and just a light. It doesn't need to be heavy.
Right.
Irrigation, you want to irrigate lightly and frequently. You want to keep it moist, but not wet, not saturated, just a good moist. And you want to do that until the seeds are established. And then after they're established, you want to shift over to a deeper and infrequent watering. Okay. And again, adjust that based on rainfall that we get. And you can start mowing it once the seeds have reached, your desired mowing height. Between that 3 to 4 inches. And you just kind of want to maintain that throughout the growing season. You don't want to scalp it. Again, what you're doing is you're getting everything ready to have a good spring. So fall, winter, prep it for a good spring.
Okay. Yeah, get that root system going. Got it.
You also want to keep an eye out for what we call brown patch. We see it more in the springtime, but it can come up during the fall and kind of winter time. Brown patch is a fungal of Rhizoconia salonia, and it just affects our cool season turfgrass. A good fungicide like oxystrobin works really great. Scott's disease EX, Heritage G, or Strobe 2L are really great products that homeowners can get their hands on. Okay. You want to use, anytime you're treating for fungicide, you want to use fungicides for preventative. You want to, if you have a history of fungal issues, you want to make sure you're getting that fungicide down. You want to kind of get that down. Brown patch is mostly active between the 70 and 90 degrees. So you want to hit it up about right before it's getting that 70 degrees. And that way you're preventing it. Of course, if it's already there, you want to treat as well. But just keep that in mind that if historically you're having issues, use it as a preventative.
You definitely want to make sure you read and follow the label when you're using those fungicides for sure. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And then we've had some new research that's telling us if you use a low rate of nitrogen in the summertime, then it will help fescue kind of come out of, recover better from brown patch. But it's a very low rate of nitrogen. Okay. And you want to apply that in the summertime. Because again, most of the time we see brown patch in the spring, late spring developing in the summertime. So that can help with recovery in the fall. Okay.
You want to tackle weed management?
Weed management, yeah, again, just use a regular 2,4-D, 3-way 2,4-D dicamba. herbicide. You'll have your broadleaf weeds kind of popping in.
Yeah.
Again, and before you establish anything or when you're doing interseeding, you want to go ahead and take care of those weeds before you do that.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be with a pre-emergent, right?
Pre-emerge, yeah. So pre-emergent, you want to get that down when the soil temperature is about 70 degrees for 5 consistent days. You don't want to use a pre-emerge in the area where you're reseeding.
Right.
Because that'll keep the seeds from coming up.
Yeah. Won't know the difference between the grass seed and the seeds of weeds.
That's right.
Exactly right.
Yeah, so make sure that you don't put that down in the area
Okay.
when you're doing that.
All right, Joseph, that is great information. And again, we want to remind folks, always read and follow the label, on any pesticides you're going to be using. Thank you for that information. That was good. Good luck with the cool season grasses, y'all.
Yep. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Joseph.